everyone, and welcome to the Zelda Cast here on ZeldaDungeon.net. My name is Andy Spiteri, joined by my pal and yours, the one and only Allison Aletha. What is going on, Al? It seems like kind of a tame week this week compared to some of the other weeks that we've had, doesn't it?
I want to say of course there's a broader cloud over everything and everybody's kind of freaking out, and I get it, totally understandable. But in my day to day, I'm just living my everyday life. This weekend was so nice. It's spring, it was blue skies, so warm. Everybody was out and about in a good mood, which is weird. And I was like, what alternate reality? I got 3 compliments. I was just like, why is everybody being so nice? I don't understand. But I mean, I was taking it and I was passing it on too, because I was just like, wow, everybody just looks so beautiful. And I don't know, I just had a really good couple of days. And I can't speak for you, but I'm like, it made me feel good inside despite all the, ish that's going on in the world.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what it's all about. Just the small things that make, that get you through the day, right? And that's important when there's so much stuff constantly and never-endingly going on. It is important to appreciate those small things. So I'm glad that you had a good weekend, and I'm glad that you're here with me today. By God, yeah, it was funny because yesterday it was super super nice now, and now it's snowing outside.
Oh my God, that's annoying. That's how it is here too.
Springtime,
sometimes.
Yeah. I went to get my coffee and I was wearing my hoodie. I put on a toque and I was wearing shorts and flip flops. So I mean, Canada for you.
Yeah, very true.
But yes, so it has been a nice week. It is in fact a long weekend this weekend. So to all those that celebrate this holiday, happy Easter. And if you don't,
you get a day. You get an extra day for Easter.
Yeah, we have a stat. You guys don't have stat holiday for Easter?
No, but we probably have that for other holidays that you guys don't. So
really, we get a Good Friday is the stat holiday, not
okay.
Easter Monday. So I would work tomorrow, but I didn't work on Friday.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, we don't have an extra that I know of, or at least my job does not. So.
Oh. Well, if I just rubbed it in for everybody that I have a long weekend, I'm terribly sorry. But if you do and you celebrate, happy Easter, and hopefully everybody got together and had some nice family time, nice meals. We actually didn't do anything this year on my side of the family. Nobody. I don't know. I don't know what it was. If it's just because it's Easter seems like it's really late this year. But I don't know. Everyone was just kind of doing their own thing, and I was totally fine with that. Actually, I didn't want to drive up to my sister's or my dad's or anything like that. I was cool with it. So, yes, lots to be thankful for here, including some positive news. Some positive news. By God, we've got here. We finally ended up at a resolution for now of the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order ordeal saga that is dominated the attention of lots of gaming media since the Switch 2 was announced. So multiple outlets confirming now that the Nintendo Switch 2, including Nintendo themselves, that the Nintendo Switch 2 will now be available for pre-order in the United States and Canada starting April 24th. April 24th.
That's Thursday, right?
Yeah, that sounds like a Thursday to me. Yeah. So Thursday is your chance to pre-order the Nintendo Switch 2. So if you've been waiting, that is the day, that's the time. So everybody go ahead and then if you're lucky enough to be able to pre-order one, go ahead and do so. So yeah, that is, and actually the good piece of news there is as well, because of the pause on the tariffs, the Nintendo Switch 2 is not going to be any more expensive than it was originally listed for. Although, all of the accessories are. Mm-hmm. All of the accessories got bumped up by about $5, probably about $10 if you're in Canada. It stinks, but if I had to pick between one or the other, I would pick I'd rather the Switch 2 price stay as is, and then the other stuff gets the bump in cost, because that isn't obviously as essential as the Nintendo Switch 2 price itself. I'm glad that reason prevailed here, and we paused those tariffs because I do think that I would have had a tough time seeing that. I would have had a tough time seeing that price not increase if that wasn't the case.
Hmm. I think I really, and I can't speak for anybody else, but like to me, I don't really buy a lot of the accessories. I buy a new controller when I absolutely have to. I
Yeah.
have several Joy-Con that I know are compatible to Switch 2 now, so I can use those. And the Pro controllers that I have, and I have chargers and all that kind of stuff. So I think I'll be fine personally. So to me, that doesn't feel like such a big hiccup in me purchasing the Switch 2 because I already have a lot of the accessories. I think one of the biggest price bumps that I'm probably kind of a little bummed about is the Amiibo. They seem to be $30 instead of 20, like the last two Amiibo were.
Yeah.
So of the new champions. So that's kind of a bummer. But I mean, I've been saving like obviously we've been talking about this for a long time. I've been putting like squirreling money away for this, saving up points. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm okay. But I understand, if people are like, I need new accessories or I really wanted those Amiibo, I get it.
Yeah, and I guess I would say this, like it seemed to me like when Amiibo launched, they were
I want to say
like
12.99.
yeah, like I remember them being like $16 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like as time wore on, and frankly, like as the Amiibo got better, because like the original
That's true.
Amiibo
Yes.
wasn't the top of the line Amiibo that you would expect. Like you take a look at like the Link from Tears of the Kingdom Amiibo compared to the Link from Super Smash Bros. Amiibo with the P stick
Mm-hmm.
that he has, like
Yeah,
they're night and day. Um,
they are.
so like that those prices for Amiibo, I feel like have already been at that level anyways. Like the Skyward Sword
They've been
Zelda
slowly
Amiibo,
increasing. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Which I think is fine because like the original idea when the Smash line came out is like there were so many of them to get that you kind of had to price them a little bit cheaper because the original idea was to collect them all. The newer Amiibo, I think like so Amiibo has certainly slowed down. The strategy to me seems to be like make the Amiibo that is produced more intricate, more detailed, more of a bigger deal. I guess is how I would say.
Hmm.
So I'm not like outraged by the price of Amiibo. I will say I don't know that if that means I'm going to get the Zelda Champion Amiibo. Because I mean, like for all four of them, that's going to be $130 for me,
Hmm.
and maybe more because it's Canadian prices. So it's quite expensive. Like they're almost comparable now to like Figma figures or. I mean, they're certainly not on the level of first four figures, but they're not just like these small little collectibles anymore. Like the new Zelda amiibo are going to cost us like they're going to cost us a lot.
Yeah, I was thinking because I signed up for the like showing my interest to Nintendo or whatever for the Switch because my plan I have been saving my points for the last like year and a half, my Amazon points because I was like I'll just get half off of it. But now I'm kind of like maybe I need those points for the Amiibo and the accessories. And then I just have to buy the Switch 2 outright. But
You
like
know
I've been
what?
trying to plan ahead for this for a while, but
I
things, it
saw,
is what it is.
and we might have to be fact checked here, but I had seen that Amazon was not accepting Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders.
I haven't seen any, and I thought it was because we weren't doing any for America yet. So,
There was something. Yeah, you know what? A couple articles. Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders unlikely for Amazon. Here's why. I haven't read the article, but I just happened to catch it
mhm.
yesterday or maybe the day before, where they were saying that there was not going to be pre-orders on Amazon for whatever reason. So yeah, I don't know. And you know
Oh,
what? Anyways, the point is that at least the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be available somewhere, and you can use those points for something. And I'm sure.
right. I also wanted to point out, and I don't know if this is like really like something Nintendo would appreciate me pointing out, but I don't care. There are other companies that do accessories for the Switch console, so I'm sure they'll do Switch 2 accessories as well for
Yep.
cheaper. You can get like what are the NFT cards for the amiibos. So if
Yeah.
you want like what the amiibo can get you in game, there's that option for cheaper as well. So there are cheaper options. But I mean, it's kind of like a lot of things in the world. If you want the name brand, you have to fork up some money for it, unfortunately.
Well, and I think the other thing too is like Nintendo. I think like if they're going to price these amiibo at that level, which again, like I for me, like they come along infrequently enough now, and they're certainly of a caliber where I'm like, okay, like I don't mind paying a little bit of money for this, but I do think as well, like they have to do something cool in the game. Like if they just unlock like a sailcloth in Tears of the Kingdom, like that doesn't cut it. You know what I
I
mean?
unfortunately think that is the case unless they add any more functionality to it because they're like, oh,
I agree. I think
shitty.
that's exactly what they're gonna do. Is and maybe they've already confirmed it, and I just haven't seen it. But like that's just like pretty. I think that's pretty lame. I thought that Breath of the Wild like really nailed Amiibo. I actually don't think any game has really done it as well since then, where like you could get all of the costumes related to the Amiibo that you were scanning. And I know that some people were upset about that, but like I feel like that added value for people that purchased those Amiibo. Like I really do. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
All right, so we asked everybody for your questions regarding Nintendo, Zelda, Age of Imprisonment. Let's see how many times I can call it Age of Upheaval today, Al. We asked everybody for their questions, and we had a lot to go through here, actually. So we should probably just get started. I do want to say again, I said this last week, and I think some of the people didn't believe me in the comments, but I did indeed creep over to Spotify. And I've been ignoring everybody in the comments over there. We had like a ton of comments and questions, so I promise I'm going to do a better job to kind of get over there and be a little bit more active in those comments. So if you see a Spiteri posting, this guy, and so actually on that note, we're going to start off with all of the questions that we got from Spotify. So this is a really great way to leave feedback, to leave questions or whatever for the show. Just comment on the latest episode, and we'll go ahead and do a better job of kind of staying on top of those and reading those. That being said, let's get started. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
I haven't looked at any of these questions, so I have nothing prepared. Did you?
Well, I mean, I gathered them, so.
Okay, so you're gonna sound smart. I'm gonna sound like I just woke up, which actually isn't far from the truth. Let's get started. Question number 1 comes from Daisy Rose. I have a question. Since Age of Imprisonment is the story of the war before Skyward Sword, do you think that they will follow the story told in Skyward Sword, such as the raising the islands into the sky?
I
don't
think
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that there might be some confusion. This is the Imprisoning War before, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the King. It's that timeline. I know that we talk about timeline. It doesn't matter. It's kind of warped. But, like, Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild are, like, 200 or 25,000 years ahead of, like, everything else, if I'm remembering right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody fact check me, totally fine. But like that's so beyond what Skyward Sword was. Like you would even have to go back thousands and thousands of years for Skyward Sword at that point.
Yeah.
So this kind of takes place at a different point, different Imprisoning War. So therefore, I don't think the story of Skyward Sword will be told.
Here is how I have always pictured the Legend of Zelda, and I'm gonna put it in more modern terms here, but I think the key word for the series is like it's a legend, right? Like it's a legendarium.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that like when you have, for example, like a Breath of the Wild or a Skyward Sword, that doesn't really like they are similar, but like they're separate, and then like the events of Skyward Sword and Tears of the Kingdom's Imprisonment War are like kind of sort of the same, but they're kind of sort of different. To me, it almost feels like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are just like their complete own thing. It's like when movie studios do a reboot of a franchise. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna, for example, like when they're rebooting Batman, they're probably gonna tell like a similar kind of story, but with some definite slight differences involved. And I feel like that's kind of the thing between Skyward Sword and Tears of the Kingdom here. It like the tale can maybe be. The general premise can be the same, but the interpretation is completely different. So it's kind of like its own timeline. I always thought that like the Skyward Sword Imprisonment War would make a great Hyrule Warriors game. I think I said that a couple years ago, and I think it still could if you ever wanted to do that. But I think that this is going to be basically what that story would have been, just through a Breath of the Wild, Wild era Zelda game kind of lens rather than that. So I think that you'll see some like homages to it, but no more than like you see homages to the entire Zelda series in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, but particularly those two with like all the like island names and whatever, right? Like I think that you would expect to see that there. Maybe a few more to Skyward Sword than not, but I don't think it's going to have anything to do particularly with Skyward Sword. No.
Yeah, I want to correct myself because I knew I was wrong. So it's 10,000 years, not 25. But I knew it was like some ungodly number. So as far as like where it connects to other Zelda games, it's at least 10,000 years beyond other Zelda games. So that's why I'm trying to say like it's not the same as Skyward Sword or in that same realm.
And like the other thing too is like Nintendo's never officially placed, unless I'm mistaken, they've never placed Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. They're just kind of like floating on their own little island on the timeline.
We talked about that because they had that like convention, and then they had the wall with the timeline, and they just kind of like lingered on their own.
There's just those two games, and it's like okay.
And yeah, and I feel like the more I know, it kind of sounds like maybe a lazy answer, but the more we get into like with DC and especially Marvel with all these like alternate multiverses or whatever, like it just makes sense to me that this is just a different universe.
Yeah,
Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom to Skyward Sword. So
yeah, I think so. Okay, this next question is from Caddy Hannah. What are some loose ends that you would like tied up in the new Hyrule Warriors? I would like the stories of the other dragons that are around Hyrule and Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Well, so that's a great one. We touched on that last week. I really think that we are going to get Din, Faror, and Nehru in this game in some form or fashion. I think we're gonna. I think that would really put this game over the top if we could see modern interpretations of them and then like understand where those dragons were coming from. I think that'd be great. I think that'd be really great.
I don't think we're gonna see them. I think we could see the dragons, but I don't think we're gonna see like the human iterations of the goddesses. I don't know how you mix that into the story, because again, Minru has to have context clues for what she's telling Zelda, and the context clues are that these other beings became dragons because they ate secret stones. So that's just me in my thought. Loose ends that I would like to see tied up. I want to see how Rauru, Zelda, and Sonia are setting up this function for Link to take all these trials to help him get the Master Sword and defeat Ganon, because we learn about it in Tears of the Kingdom, because all of a sudden these new shrines pop up, right? Mm-hmm. And we kind of learn about it, but I want to see them setting up the system. I want to see more of Zelda's like thought process, because clearly she has this massive plan. We talked about this before, where she like sets up the future, and that's great. She's got a major bootstrap paradox going on, right? I want to see it in action. So that's kind of what I would love to see in this game.
I agree. I think that the opening of Tears of the Kingdom, when Zelda falls and is pulled back into time, I would like an explanation as to why that occurred. And I think it's like super simple. That explanation can be like Zelda in the past knows that Zelda in the future needs to come back to the past, as you just pointed out. So
I just think
I would
that
like that.
She was touching the secret stone and it activated her time powers.
I want something better than that. I just want like purpose like or reason. All over again. Well, no, it's not. It's just like it's a loose end. Like you can't.
It's not.
It is. You can't just say like, oh well, she just touched the secret stone and activated her time power. How did it know to take her back to that specific point in time? Maybe the loose end is just saying like, the secret stone brought her back to the greatest moment of need, and then that's fine. But like, say that, you know what? Like,
or took her back, because that secret stone is originally Rauru's, so took her back to Rauru.
Sure, yeah, I don't know, maybe. And I know I can hear Corey already be like, I
know, I was.
You don't need to spell everything out, but like, first of all, go to hell, Corey, and second of all, like, yeah, for some things, I think that you should just. I would rather I mean, it's a fine line, but like, if I have to choose between no explanation at all or over explanation, I'll probably err on the side of over explanation, even if it's kind of annoying where it's like, yeah, okay, you don't have to spell it out for me. At least like that way the story is like neatly wrapped up and packaged. So like I don't.
A game that does that is Horizon. The Horizon games over explain everything, but in a good way because there's so much information to know.
Yeah, well, exactly, right? So like I don't think there's anything wrong with just like a line or two of dialogue saying like, oh, the secret stone then took Zelda back to Rauru because it was his stone, and this is pivotal to the destiny of whatever, right? Like that would be one thing. This isn't a loose end, but I think like they desperately need to do something with Sonia in that game, like flesh her character out. I don't know. I just remember I was so let down because she looked like such a cool character, and she was really just like a big nothing burger in the game.
Do you think that the order in which you saw the cutscenes affected how you felt about or received Sonia as a character?
I mean, probably
saw her
yes.
Die really quickly.
Probably yes, but even I think if you would have seen it in order, Al, like I still don't know if that's just like she's a pretty thin character. Like there wasn't a whole lot there, and I mean I like there's not a whole lot to really a lot of Zelda characters, but Sonya in particular, I just felt like was really. And maybe it was my expectation because when I saw her, I was like, man, this looks like such a cool character. Like she looks divine. She looks like she's somebody. And I don't know. I guess I just wanted more out of Sonya, and we never got that. And you know, sorry. And one last loose end I'd like to see is maybe, I don't know, maybe just like a more of an in-depth, no pun intended, like explanation of like where the depths came from or like how they formed. If that's just like part of the land of Hyrule, which if it is, that's cool. But
I mean, there's so much Zonai stuff down there. So
yeah.
I imagine since Rauru and Minoru are like the last two Zonai supposedly that we know of, maybe the Zonai have been down there before and they just were doing stuff, and clearly 10,000 years of wear and tear on it is what we see in the depths now. But yeah, I would like to know, like, maybe Rauru could be like, yeah, there was a whole civilization down there doing stuff.
Yeah. Anything else for you before we move on?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. There's like a lot that I'm hoping for, and if they don't make up some bogus story to do whatever the heck they want, then I'm sure there's like a lot of information they'd be happy to tell us.
Let me raise you this before we move on. You seem to be stuck on the fact that Din and Faror and Nehru cannot show up, but what if, Al, there was just like in ancient times there were people who ate secret stones that turn into dragons, and maybe those dragons have died, and that's where the Leviathan bones have came from. Like, maybe that knowledge already exists. So like,
fair. Okay,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
We'll see.
Could be.
Okay, this is a question for you. Here we go.
Okay.
Parlymander, are you guys excited for the supposed release of Silk Song this year? As a follow-up question, do you think it will actually come out or be postponed again?
Why is this a question for me? I haven't even
because I feel like almost 100% confident you have not played Hollow Knight.
I haven't. But let me talk about my brother Colton. I don't talk about him a lot on this show. I usually talk about Andy or Shad. Colton loves Hollow Knight. We were at D&D and I was like, "Are you excited about Silk Song?" And he's like, "I saw that, but I didn't think it was real." And he's not like, he doesn't like actively watch the directs or anything. Like, he just happened to see it on social media and he's like, right. Nah, I thought that was fake. And I was like, no, it's real. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah. And then he was like super stoked. So I just thought that was really funny.
I get asked about Hollow Knight all the time on Omega. Like, people ask me all the time, when are you doing an Inspired by Metroid on Hollow Knight? Mm-hmm. And we're going to do it, but ironically, we were kind of waiting for some firm Silk Song news to tie in and do the Inspired by Metroid. I didn't think we'd be waiting, like, I mean, this is our 5th year of the Omega Metroid podcast. I didn't think we'd be waiting this long, but we are going to do that episode. I'm pretty excited for Silk Song. I thought Hollow Knight was great. I see a lot of people saying it's like the best Metroidvania they've ever played. I wouldn't say that. I think Hollow Knight is really an exceptional Metroidvania, but I would put it. If there is like a like a D tier, a C tier, B tier, A, like I'd put it in an A tier, but I'd have like a couple of games in that S tier above it. You know what I mean? So
I'm guessing like Ori and Celeste.
Yeah, well, not even Celeste. Celeste I wouldn't say is a Metroidvania, but Ori absolutely would be in that space. Prince of Persia last year would be in that space. Lots of great titles. But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for Silk Song. I mean, whatever. Like, I think like it comes out when it comes out.
Everything wants. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm worried that since it's been so long, and we know of this, like it's been so long, your expectations are so high. I really hope it's everything you all want, like that fandom. I hope it's everything that you guys want from Silk Song.
Yeah. I'm kind of over like the whole like, oh my god, Silk Song. When is it? Like, it's gonna come out when it comes out. Just wait, and when it comes out, it'll be great.
How long has it been? Has it been? People have been waiting for Silk Song.
It came out before Breath of the Wild on Steam.
Whoa.
Yeah,
wow.
It's been a long time.
I'm wondering how long I've been waiting for the next Elder Scrolls game.
That has also been a very long time. We are currently 14 years past the release.
Yeah, 14. I want to say.
Oh boy. Okay, and let's move on here. Just so 2 questions, actually 3 questions here. From Chris 130. First, do you think what happened to the 3DS will happen to the Switch 2, sale and price wise? So he's referring to there was a price reduction for the 3DS about 6 or 9 months after it came out because it was not selling very well at all. I hate to burst your bubble, but I don't think so.
I doubt it. It's not like this 3DS is not as big as the Switch 2. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see because I don't know if this is real, but I saw that people were saying, oh, Doug Bowser was like, if you can't afford the Switch 2, play the Switch. And maybe that's what people will do. And then they'll be like, oh, crap, we have to sell the Switch 2. Who knows? Like, they've seen what they've done in the past, and maybe they'll try to amend things. Who knows? We shall see. It's not, and I feel like it's not the console that a lot of people are upset about. Like, it's not the console's price that a lot of people are. A lot of people think that's actually kind of reasonable when you compare it to like PlayStation, Xbox, etc. So
or a Steam Deck, frankly, like a Steam Deck is probably the best comparable, and the Switch 2 is. So there's 3 models of Steam Deck. The Switch 2 is cheaper than the 2 like higher models. So like.
So
yeah, I don't know. I don't see it happening. I mean, anything is possible. Anything is certainly possible, but I wouldn't count on it. I'll put it that way. Okay, next question. This podcast has been out since the DLC for Breath of the Wild was released, and yet you have never definitively ranked Breath of the Wild. When will you? I don't know.
I had to double check that. I was like, "There's no way." We totally have, and
I know that we haven't.
I haven't listed it on our history, so I guess we haven't.
I know for sure that we haven't because I was saving it, and I don't know what I was saving it for, but I feel like we'll know when the moment is right. I don't know. Maybe the time is coming to replay Breath of the Wild on the Switch too.
I mean, there's another question coming up where I have an answer to that, so we'll get there when we get there.
You have to keep on tuning in every single week, Chris. To the Zelda Cast, available on Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Okay, last question. What is your favorite Tears of the Kingdom song? I know this is kind of a cop-out answer. I really like Hyrule Castle. Because it's the same as Breath of the Wild Hyrule Castle, but they mix in... Yeah, and they mix in like the scary, like... that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody clip that. Yeah.
I have a lot of favorites. Colgera, obviously, but also like the Thunderhead Isle or the Dragonhead Isle. There was one I was specifically thinking of until you said Hyrule Castle, so now I can't think of it.
I'll throw another.
The main theme is really good too. I love the main theme. I know you don't really care for it, or like it's not your favorite, but I love it.
I will say, like, I was doing, I was editing the podcast a while ago, and I put in the Tears of the Kingdom main theme, and it was nice to hear it. Like it
I
did bring
love
a
it.
kind of familiar, like, oh, there it is, like da da da. So it's growing on me a little bit. It's still a little bit bombastic for my taste, but
Which makes no sense to me because you love other bombastic songs.
yeah,
I don't know.
I can't explain it.
I get it. I have that with like other music stuff, like stuff my brother listens to. I'm like, I like this one, but not this one. He's like, it's the exact same thing. And I'm like, no, it's not.
I know what I
another one I
like.
thought of,
That's it.
Zelda's specific dragon theme. I like that one a lot. It's really sad.
Shout out the Lightning Temple as well. That's a great track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes, how about this? The Legend of Zelda Minish Cap super fan. Which 3D Zelda game would you like to see a remake of with voice acting in the Breath of the Wild style? Great username.
Mm-hmm.
Is it lame to say Ocarina of Time?
No, I don't think so. I think that's a good one.
You know what?
I was thinking Skyward Sword.
I was gonna say, like, with voice acting specifically, maybe Skyward Sword is the one. Maybe Skyward Sword.
What Zelda group was it? Zelda Inform? No, not Zelda Informer. Zelda Universe. They did like a dub of Skyward Sword.
Zelda
a few
Universe
years back.
has multiple dubs of a lot of different
Yeah,
Zelda games,
it was
which you should
pretty
check out,
good.
by the way. They're really cool.
Whoever did Girahim nailed it. It was fantastic.
I can't say I've listened to them like all the way through, but I've listened to clips, and yeah, it's really cool. And there's a lot of like really great voice actors like in there as well, like both like kind of professionals and then just like people that were just like kind of came out of nowhere and killed it. And yeah, so really cool series that Zelda Universe did. I guess like yeah, but you know what though, I don't know, like maybe I do kind of want to go back to Ocarina of Time, because like I'm also thinking like you'd get to have like all the sages voiced, you get to have Kaepora Gaboy. Can you imagine listening to that like looped and looped
Over
and
and
looped and
over and
looped?
over.
Oh my god.
They better have a good voice for him.
Yeah, that would be.
Well, I guess it would
that'd
be
be great.
Rauru's voice, wouldn't it? Aren't they the same person?
Well, you know what? I would say I think that I guess it's down to your definition, because he says voice acting in the Breath of the Wild style. I actually I'm not sure for Skyward Sword particularly that the more so like formal regal voice that Patricia Somerset does fits that Zelda. It probably would fit Ocarina of Time Zelda.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, you like I was just imagining like voice acting, I guess in general there.
Twilight Princess would be a good one too, I think.
Yeah, that'd be fine. That'd be fine. Okay, next question here, Al. Oh man, this is a doozy. How would you describe each Zelda game with one word? Oh my
I don't know
God.
if we have time to do that
No.
in this episode.
Okay, let
Maybe
me.
we can make,
Here's
maybe
a
we
few.
can make a segment.
I would say this: Ocarina of Time, perfection. Majora's Mask, atmospheric. Skyward Sword. Oh, God, what's a good like? Can I use two words? Like,
Mystical.
I was getting like something with a great narrative. I don't know. Narratively, I don't know. I'm making up words here. Minish Cap, I'd say whimsical. Legend of Zelda. Classic. Yeah, that's great. I was gonna say foundational, but classic is foundational could probably be applied to Link to the Past actually. Breath of the Wild. Honestly, I would say like mythical in a sense. Yeah, like that you could do a lot of words to that. How about this? I would say Adventure of Link is frustrating.
Accurate.
I think that's fair. I think Phantom Hourglass disappointing.
Aw.
I'm sorry, but and how would I describe Twilight Princess in one word?
Wow, I wonder.
Tee it up for me, baby. Ugly.
No, we have two words. You have two: ugly and miserable.
Well, miserable is playing the opening of Twilight Princess. Like, the game is fine once you get past that miserable opening, but like, if it was described,
it's always ugly though.
It's ugly from start to finish. It's ugly from the moment that wolf howls till the moment that Midna pieces out back into that mirror. It's. I'm sorry. You know it. I know it. We all know it.
It's been a while since we've had the true Twilight Princess hate on this podcast.
And you know what? Just because you're ugly doesn't mean that you're not beautiful in your own way. Twilight Princess, okay?
Oh my god.
You are ugly, though, Twilight Princess. I have to say, that's the word I'm going to use to describe you. Okay, you do something. What would you describe Wind Waker as?
Me, Wind Waker?
Yeah.
Adventurous.
I would say water.
Water. Ocean. I was trying to think of one for Tears of the Kingdom, but I can think of two, like technologically astounding, you know, like just so many technological feats in that one, so I don't know like one word to encompass that.
That's not the word I would use.
You know what?
I don't know what word I would use.
What is the one word I would choose to describe you, Andy?
We're on air, Al. You better watch your language.
No.
Okay, Echoes of Wisdom. Let's do this one and then let's move on.
That's hard because you already used whimsical for Minish Cap.
I've got one.
Okay, go for it.
Refreshing.
Okay, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah?
That's
okay. Great question. I don't know. We might have to delve deeper into this question at some point. This next question is from Elsa. Do you think we will be able to play as the ancient hero in Age of Imprisonment? And if so, how will it be implemented? We got like a lot of questions about this. And I don't know if we included all of them, but a lot of people ask some version of this question. I think we're playing as that ancient hero. I do.
Ancient Heroes aspect, right?
The Ancient Heroes aspect, yeah. So the version that you get after completing all of the shrines in Tears of the Kingdom. Because again, like I feel like you're kind of needing playable characters here, and if you're not going to play as Link, like you can maybe play as like Link adjacent, you know? I don't know exactly how they would. Maybe it's just as simple as like this guy is a hero at this point in time. Like maybe it could be the hero from 10,000 years ago that we see in the tapestry and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, so I do expect.
That's what the form that Link takes kind of looks like.
Yeah, so like I expect like some version of Link to be playable, whether it's like actual Link, whether it's Ancient Heroes aspect Link, whether it's time travel shenanigans Link. I don't know. But I think that we're going to play as the Ancient Heroes aspect. Now, the question is if it's just like a character skin or if it's like a legit like new character, but I think you play as him.
Yeah, because you were wondering last week, like, how do we play this game without Link? And I think this might be the answer. Like,
it might be.
Just play Link adjacent. And it could be all the Links that we know who have the spirit of the hero in them, which I'm assuming this ancient hero is, like, kind of the same, is some incarnation or another of, you know, Link. Then it would just be Link adjacent, and they would probably be very similar in manner and maybe just look kind of Zonai-ish, you know? Because that's what this aspect kind of gives you, like this Zonai appearance, which I remember comparing. I was also like, yeah, but it's got like this red hair and these giant pointy ears that look like Ganondorf too, so like who knows what they're going to do, so.
We'll see. All right, next question is from Phoenix. Do you think the ending of Age of Imprisonment will end with the scene of Rauru sealing Ganon, or do you think that he'll be beaten like he was in Age of Calamity? Also, do you think that there will be a new Aster-like character? So let's tackle the first part first. If this game is a canonical retelling, I think that it has to end with Ganondorf being sealed. Now I will say this. The story of Tears of the Kingdom lends itself better to wrapping up a prequel than the story of Breath of the Wild. Because in the story of Breath of the Wild, everybody died and the heroes lost. Like, in the story of Tears of the Kingdom, there were sacrifices that were made, but the villain was defeated and sealed away for 10,000 years. So you can still have a happy ending while adhering to what happened in the canonical story. So I think that we'll have an easier time with that. I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell to expect. Like, I could totally see them doing, like, some kind of shenanigans again, but I don't know. I think they went out of their way to say, like, this is canonical, so I gotta imagine that they're sticking to that. What do you think, Cal?
I actually don't think it ends there, but I do think that's what we see. I think it's going to end with Zelda turning into a dragon.
Okay.
Because that's like the biggest focal point of Tears of the Kingdom, and like their story, clearly they wanted that to hit really hard, and it did. And so I think that's what they're gonna like kind of milk that in Age of Imprisonment. So which I'm okay with. I'm excited about. So like I feel like we're gonna reach certain points in the game if we're doing some kind of main campaign where Sonia's gonna stop being playable, and then Rauru's gonna stop being playable.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, like once you beat the campaign, you could probably play with those characters no matter what, because you could choose whoever you want, and that's fine. But I just think like, yeah, if we're gonna follow this story beat for story beat that we know from Tears of the Kingdom, Rauru is going to die sealing Ganondorf. So that's what I expect to see because of what they told us so far. And again, they've done this to us in the past, so who knows?
Indeed. Okay, so the second part of the question I think is more interesting, actually, and that is, do you think that there will be a new Aster-like character? I do.
I do too.
And I think if you were listening last week, everybody knows where this is going. I think that our new Aster can be Twin Rova or Koyum and Kotake. I think that it's right there. Again, like I think that what you want to do, like in an ideal setting, is like give people new versions of existing characters. So I think that you can use those two. Maybe they can fuse together into like a superpowered Twin Rova. I think that'd be great. Like right? Like I think that'd be really cool. I think it'd be a great nod for Zelda fans. I think it's easier to do than trying to build up a new character. And I'm not saying like I never want new characters or anything like that. But I think for this game, I think like it's just so much easier to do like a version of a character that you know, because like we've done Asterd, we've done Volga, we've done Suga, we've got I don't know. I think it's like let's just do Twin Rova, man.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. We've literally seen them in Tears of the Kingdom, or at least Kome and Kotake, we've seen them. So, yeah, I think that makes the most logical sense. But even if it's not them, I still think that there will be an Aster-like character. It's unfortunate that Aster was really disappointing in Age of Calamity, so maybe they could do a little bit better. But if you have a more established character like Twin Rova, it'd be easier to do a better job with them, you know? So, but I have a feeling we will be seeing some new characters in this game that they are just going to develop for us to see in the past and have playable. So I could totally see them having somebody other than Twin Rova.
I mean, I could too. I just think that that makes sense. It's already right there. I think that it would go over a lot better. I can't like. I guess like we got to be like the most vocal critics of Asterd on that I know of, but like. Does anybody else like ever talk about Aster as a villain? Ever?
No, because he was so bland. He was a blank sheet of paper.
He was a created character. You leave all your settings on default, kind of evil guy. And I think that
you don't know where he came from.
Yeah.
You don't know how he came up to the Yiga. You don't know nothing.
And so when you have a character like Twin Rova like that, you could get away with like not having a lot of backstory because like we already kind of know what we need to know about them. So I think that is what I would do. Okay, this is a great question, Al. Again, this is another one right up your alley. When a new Smash game releases on the Switch 2, who are 5 characters you would want to see and 5 characters you'd be willing to cut from the roster? Ooh.
Hold on, let me Google all the Smash characters.
Al, we might have to do this show in 2 parts, by the way. We got like a ton of questions to go through.
We did.
Got so many. So if we might make the executive decision to cut this up and get more questions as we go here. I'm not sure, but okay. Off the top of my head, characters I would be willing to cut first. Basically, if you're
the number one thought I had was Byleth.
You know what? I'm not willing to do that, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, and I know that's not popular, but. At least Byleth has a unique moveset. Okay?
Oh, I guess I haven't really paid attention to know that.
If you are like I think if you're an Echo fighter, you're on the cusp of getting cut in my world. So like Dark Pit, there is no reason that Dark Pit should be its own character. Dr. Mario, there's no reason to have Dr. Mario. Pichu, I would be cutting Lucina.
Pichu makes sense. Incineroar is such a dumb Pokemon to like what a random I'm sorry for Incineroar fans, but like what a random of all the Pokemon,
It's
dumb.
wild. But I wouldn't cut Incineroar either because he at least has like a fun, unique moveset with like wrestling
Yeah, but you
stuff
could have
and
had so much cooler Pokemon
you should
there.
have
Like,
put
why
in
Incineroar?
Decidueye. Decidueye? Did I say that right? The owl, the
Who
ghost
the-
owl.
Oh yeah. That would have been cool.
He
Even
would have been
better
great.
the one from Arceus, that version.
No,
With his,
not that version.
his like hat that makes him look cool.
Maybe like as an alt costume. You know, let's put Decidueye on the list of people that could come in. Yeah, there's number one. But really quickly, so I would cut. I was gonna say I would cut Daisy. I'm actually fine with Daisy being a playable character, but she needs her own moveset.
She's no G. You can't get rid of Daisy.
No, she's not. She appeared in the last Smash game.
She totally was in the like melee, wasn't she? She floating around on her umbrella.
Do you really want to go
I
up
don't,
against
but like
me?
you're like removing a memory I'm having. So like,
You're thinking of Peach. Peach was in Melee.
did I say? I thought we were talking about Peach.
No, we're talking about
What did you
Daisy.
say? Did I say Peach? I thought we were talking about Peach.
No, you
I
can't.
heard
You cannot
Daisy.
cut Peach. Cannot.
You said Daisy. I heard Peach. Sorry.
And you know what else I'd cut? I'd cut Wolf. I think. Just
Okay,
sorry, Star
yeah.
Fox fans, but I would cut Wolf. People I'd like to put in Decidueye, I think would be great. Silex, or Ravenbeak from Metroid, maybe both. We need a new Zelda character, man. Like I'd be fine with Rauru coming in, like Zonai Rauru. I think would be great.
That'd be awesome.
Like I think for such a big like Zelda is vastly underrepresented in Smash Bros. Like you could do a top 5 character list from Zelda alone, but Rauru immediately comes to mind for sure. We got to get Ganondorf his Tears of the Kingdom skin in that game. Like
Ooh,
have to,
God, that would be so cool.
have to. Twin Rovo would be great.
Oh, these
Who
are
else is
DLC
there?
Like, Min Min is kind of cool. From the ARMS game. I'm trying to think of like Steve from Minecraft. I don't think that needs to be there.
Oh, but that's such a huge like having Minecraft in. You know who needs to be in the next Smash game? It needs to be Master Chief.
Master Chief.
Master
Yeah, I thought you were
Chief,
gonna do
baby. Yeah, that would be huge. So what are we at? We're
Trainer.
at 4, I think. Let's get one more.
I don't know. I lost track. I'm just like looking at the list, and I don't know who to add.
So I'm gonna take Decidueye, Master Chief,
I'm gonna add Felix to the. I would want to add Felix.
like from Golden Sun.
No, from Three Houses.
Oh, come on. Seriously?
I love Felix. He's my favorite.
Oh boy. Well, okay. I think I'm not adding any more Fire Emblem characters to this. As much as I love Fire Emblem, I'm not gonna
There's
do
a
it.
lot of Fire Emblem characters
Yeah.
in this. Is there like a cool Metroid character to add to this?
I think Silex
Baby
would be
Metroid.
great. Baby Metroid, that could be one. Silex, the guy that. Damn, Al, we need to get you up
Yeah,
to
that
speed
went.
on
He was
Metroid.
in the hole in the wall, and
And he
like,
walks
zooming
in,
on
he's looking like a badass.
Yeah.
He's got the 2 Metroids. Or you could
Yeah.
have Ravenbeak from Metroid Dread. That would also be incredible.
Cool.
That'd be great.
Cool.
Let's pick one more and then let's move on. Who should we pick? What's a game series that is a Nintendo game series, like a recent one that could use a little bit of a boost? Maybe we should get one of the guys from Drift/Drive.
I want Aloy in here.
That'd be cool. I could
I know
sign
that's
off
not
on
realistic, but that would be sick.
that. You know what? I remember very vividly when Cloud Strife was announced for Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. That was the point where I was like, anybody has a legitimate chance of showing up in Super Smash Bros. So like I don't think it'd be very likely to see Sony people in, but I would never say it's impossible. I would have said it's impossible before Cloud Strife, not anymore.
Yeah. Doesn't Sony have their own kind of like Smash Bros?
Yeah, they did like Sony All-Stars or whatever is a complete flop. That's the thing, like all these Smash Bros clones are like a complete flop, you know? We will not be adding any more Kirby characters. We're not
Kirby
doing
is
it.
like an OG in this too. You can't get rid of Kirby.
I didn't say that.
I know, but I think the suggestion from this question that I didn't include in it was to get rid of Kirby, and I was like, nah, I don't think you can.
Well, you could. but
Kirby's
but I
pretty
won't.
OP too.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. This is probably a great, like, we're gonna expand on this when they inevitably announce a new Smash game. We'll have like a Zelda's percentages on a couple of different characters here on their chances to get in. So we'll return to this, but off the top of our head, I mean, as a Metroid fan, I'd love to see Silex, and as a Zelda fan, I'd love to see Rauru. I will say, I think Metroid has done okay in Smash, considering there's not like a ton of characters in that series, but like Zelda it's just pathetic that there's not more. This is like one of your absolute tip-top franchises. And like there's the same 4 people, I guess 5 technically, that have been in since like Melee. You know what I mean? Like, no one has been added since Melee. And don't tell me Young Link and Toon Link are like separate. They're basically the same guy, okay?
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is like it's kind of what you were saying with the Amiibo a couple years back. Is like stop it with the links. Let's get another character in here.
Well, it's just like you have such a variety of characters to choose from, and like we've got every protagonist from Fire Emblem.
You could have Impa in there.
Impa would be great.
Impa would be so easy.
Yeah, she'd be great. Like, I mean, like go down the list. Like Skull Kid would have been great. Groose would have been great. Girahim would have been great. Like, there's all these great options for you. Midna would have been great. Like, Wolf Link and Midna.
I feel like he's staring into my soul.
I would love to see more Final Fantasy characters in Smash Bros. Anyways, let's move on.
Okay.
All right, this next, we're you know what? I'm making the executive decision. We're cutting this into 2 parts. We're gonna be going for like 2 hours
through the first page.
Yes. Which, by the way, means that if you have more questions, leave a comment on this episode in Spotify. We'll try and get to them. Okay, this next one is from Nathan Crossman. Who's your favorite and least favorite Zelda character? I can think of least favorite. Do you want to guess?
Is it Aster?
It's not Asterd. No, it's not.
I know.
Come on, you should be able to get this.
I know who it is.
Yeah, okay.
It's Ilya.
It's Ilya. She's the worst, man. She's terrible. Horrible.
Mine is probably Beetle as far as worst. I hate that guy.
I don't think Beetle deserves that scorn from you, Al.
Listen, he is just a businessman who wants your money, and he guilt trips you and passive aggressive with you when you don't give him what he wants. And I just think that's fragile men syndrome. So
that startled me how like you said listen there. I was just like, oh jeez. I just like sat back in my chair.
Zelda Cast.
I don't love Beetle either, if I'm being honest.
Most favorite, I want to say Tears of the Kingdom Zelda is probably my most favorite.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I have an answer and it's like so lame. Is it a cop out to say Link? Like,
no, I said Zelda. Like
I know, but like there's something just like so, I don't know, like optimistic about Link. You know, like he represents the best of us, or the version of us that we wish we could be. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why like Zelda is so popular and enduring, is because Link is kind of this like, he's a character but he's an ideal as well. So I really it's hard not to say Link. I would say, like, if you want me to really kind of nail it down, I love Skyward Sword Zelda. Love. I really like Skull Kid for sure. I like Marin a lot.
Okay, fair enough.
So those are a couple, but it's hard not to say Link, you know?
Yeah, and it's hard too, like, I feel like I have slight recency bias too, but I just, like, the way that she's grown, and I guess this includes Breath of the Wild Zelda too, just the way that she's grown and the sacrifices that she's made, and how much I've grown too to understand, like, where Zelda's coming from in Breath of the Wild, because at the beginning, 8 years ago, I just didn't get her. I was just like, what is wrong with you? Like, and I had to grow as a person to kind of see her, like, what she was going through, and so I feel like I've grown with her, and that's why she's my favorite.
Yeah, that's perfect. I think that's great. Great answer. Okay, this next one is from Leah. What were your guys' reactions to the official release date of the Zelda film?
Did we do a reaction to that? I don't know if we did.
Did
we talk about it?
we didn't, and I guess like I'll tell you why we didn't, and give the answer to this question at the same time. I think like my reaction was nothing, because like the release date doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean?
It's far enough away that I was just like, okay, that makes total sense. That's kind of the reaction I was like, that makes total sense.
Yeah, and like the other thing is like that release date could very well change. Like we are still so early into pre-production that like there's a lot that could change. The director could change, the production schedule could change, where it's being shot could change. Lots of stuff could change. So like this release date really means nothing. Like it not like nothing at all. It's kind of like back in the day when like Marvel would come out and they're like, here's phase 10 of the MCU.
Oh yeah,
and
a lot of it's changed.
We're gonna have, actually specifically, like I remember when they announced like phase 3 or whatever. They're like, okay, Blade is coming out on June 5th, 2018 or whatever, and it's like,
yeah,
okay.
and I mean, I think that also goes to show that like it's cool how they announce that stuff. Like I always thought that was pretty cool that Marvel did that, but you're also like kind of putting a lot of pressure on that date because, and also like certain actors. So clearly the Conqueror did not work out. So they're having to shift up, like change everything that they've planned for the next like 4 years that they've already announced because that actor did not work out. So, I mean, maybe just don't do that.
Yeah,
and like so far ahead.
There's nothing wrong with like having a plan like Marvel had. I don't think either. But yeah, like you have to pivot. And I guess that's why I'm saying like the release date doesn't mean anything. It's just a release date, and like you see this all the time where like studios will move movies like release dates around if there's like stiff competition at the box office for a particular weekend or whatever. So and not to down on like anyone's excitement, certainly isn't the intention here. Just like, you know, it's
to me, yeah, I just thought the date made sense. I was like, yeah, we haven't really seen any casting or anything like that, so 2 years down the road makes sense to me. So yeah,
I would say so. Okay, yet another Hylian Poe nerd. Great name. How are you feeling about the 4K 120 frame per second Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild, and do you think or want them to upgrade Echoes of Wisdom? What you know? Let's just take let's just do that one before we move on to the other parts of the question. There, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for that. I think it. Now, I never thought that the games didn't look great, but like when you see the up-res that they got, I mean, it looks phenomenal. It really does.
I want to say like coming up in this era that we have with television, internet, etc., you don't know how, I wouldn't say bad something looks until you see like the upgraded resolution. Like when we would watch TV back in the 90s, we didn't understand that it was grainy as hell. You know, we didn't get it until we started getting the high res stuff. So with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, it's still a beautiful game. We just didn't understand that it could look better. You know what I mean? And I don't want to give props to any of those people who are like, the game's ugly, because it's not. You know, it's just, it looks a little bit more polished now, a little bit more detailed. And maybe something that we could have had from the beginning. I get that. But it's what we're getting now. I'm super excited about that.
Yep. I'm really looking forward to replaying. Maybe I'll replay Tears of the Kingdom instead of Breath. Like I feel like I want to replay Breath of the Wild instead, but maybe I'll do Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know. But yeah, I think that it looks absolutely great. I wouldn't say no if they went to go and upgrade Echoes of Wisdom. I would say this, at present time, this could all change, but at present time, I believe it's only Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild that have been confirmed to get the free update if you have the NSO expansion pack. So I wouldn't go out of my way to pay for the upgrade for Echoes of Wisdom. But if it was included, yeah, I would do that for sure. Because I mean, like I will play Echoes of Wisdom again, you know, probably for this podcast, but just because it's a really good Zelda game. So I'll play it again, and if I can play it, you know, on 4K, bonus.
I mean, and this is just exactly what I said. Like, it doesn't seem like it needs any upgrades to me.
Yeah.
Until maybe I do see upgrades and I'm like, whoa, that's incredible. But like right now, I think it's like very polished. It's very charming. It's charming would have been a good word for this.
Charming is a good word.
Yeah. It just looks amazing, and it looks up to date, and it looks modern, and I think that's great. I don't think it really needs any kind of tune up. But if it came out with one, I wouldn't complain. If I saw it and I was like, do I think like maybe some slight visual enhancements would be worth the $10 for it? Probably not. For a game like Echoes of Wisdom, probably not. But I get it for if I'm spending 300 plus hours in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, then yes, that's $10 well worth. Well spent for me.
I think so. I could be convinced, honestly, to pay for the upgrade. Like, I say that, but I probably could be convinced, too. Because, like, it's not outrageously expensive. And if I'm going to, as you say, like, if I'm going to replay Echoes of Wisdom, that's probably, like, 20, 30 hours that I'm dedicating to the game. Like, I guess, like, why wouldn't I up-res it, But again, like, I don't know. Like, I play mostly handheld, so... maybe that isn't worth it for me. I don't know. Second part of the question, what are you most excited for the Switch 2?
We just talked about it. I am really excited about replaying Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know. Like, seriously, I had no desire to do this ever again, but somehow this has, like, revived the desire in me that I'm going to probably 100% Tears of the Kingdom again. Mm-hmm. It's crazy, but I'm like, the reason I'm looking forward to it mostly not just the Switch 2 like upgrades, but like that app that gives you all this extra like lore dumping. I'm so excited to play around with that and like go gather more information with this app. And there's another question that comes out about that later, so I'll try to save my thoughts about it. But like, I'm really excited about that.
Yep, I agree, and I guess for me, like I'm excited to have a better Switch. Like my Switch is feeling every bit of its 8 years. Like the battery is like you probably get 2 hours out of the battery before it's dead. It doesn't feel like it feels looser like than it did, and I have like a day one Switch. Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's like when you have a cell phone for, like not even 8 years. I can't imagine like anyone having a cell phone that lasts 8 years anymore, but even like 4 years. Okay. At the end of that 4 years, you're like, I cannot wait for something new and something fresh and something a little bit of an upgrade.
That they build cell phones so that they just go to crap after 2 years.
Oh,
that's
totally.
usually how long it takes you to pay them off.
Yeah, totally. Well, I will say this as a slight defense. Like, I mean, you use your cell phone, like the average person, let me say, use their cell phone like a ton and is in their hand. They're handling it like a lot. Like I use mine a lot. But yeah, they're clearly not built to last, and they're for that exact reason, I am sure. Okay. Also, can you please do more Guess That Zelda Character / location episodes and more Ocarina of Time randomizers? Yeah, sure. You know what? Okay. The thing about the Ocarina of Time randomizer is like we're stuck and I don't know where to go.
Yeah,
and it's not true. A great podcast episode when you're just like wandering around aimlessly for an hour. See the Omega Metroid Marathon for proof of this. When Alice and I and Moss got stuck, like literally at the first item of the game for 3 long hours.
Yep. I mean, maybe we just restart and make sure we get a better seat or something like where we want to with the Link to the Past one.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, that has been like a hindrance where, because like the last episode we did, literally we didn't know what to do because we couldn't figure out where to go and
for like half an hour of it too. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And the other thing, I guess the other thing about the randomizer episodes, I think that they are a tough episode if you're just listening on podcast form, right? Which like 99% of people do. Maybe I'm wrong, because I remember I did ask that, because I was like, I don't know if like people would enjoy this just listening podcast form. So if you do, let us know. But I guess in my mind, like for me, I was like, I don't know if like as a podcast listener myself, if I would enjoy this, and I typically will try and make stuff I would like to listen to, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe I'm totally wrong though. I don't know. I usually am, actually. So, let's move on here. PRMX Absolute Goober. What a name. What are the best 2 items to fuse in Tears of the Kingdom? This is all you, Al. This is all you. I have no idea.
Ooh, this is hard. I'm trying to remember like my most fused stuff. I definitely liked I liked fusing stuff to my shield. I would say like if you're looking for like attack or whatever, is any kind of Lionel horn with like a larger or not larger but better sword is like peak. You know?
What? The arrows actually, Lionel horns and arrows when you're fighting a King Gleeok.
Or the Gibdos, right? That's what's in this game.
Oh, yes, those ones, because they break right away. That's what I was thinking of.
They break right away, but they're like insanely powerful. The Gibdo, like ribcage or whatever.
Yes, you're right. Sorry, that's what I was thinking of with the arrows, because like you only get one shot. They break right away. They're perfect for King Gleeoks.
I also really, really liked the. Oh God, sorry. It's been a year since I played Tears of the Kingdom, so I can't remember the names. But like the light up fruit with an arrow.
Oh yeah,
spectacular.
Isn't it just literally called like
light fruit? No, it's not. Or something.
I was gonna say it's called light fruit, but I think it's Lightfoot.
Lightfoot. It's not called Lightfoot.
Well, I know it's not called. It's Light Root. Oh my God.
Light Root.
That's the word we're looking for.
You know what's a good funny one is the Hudson cutout to your shield's pretty funny. If you're going for like goofy, you know.
Huh.
That one's a pretty funny one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's do like 1 or 2 more here, Al, and then we'll cut it off.
Sorry, I just thought of another one. Frozen meat to your shield, and you could like unlimitedly shield surf on surfaces, even if they're hard.
Frozen meat to your shield. There you go.
Okay. Anyways, moving on.
What a sentence. Okay, let's move on. This next question is from Green Miner. Do you think they will put the GameCube version of Twilight Princess on NSO or remaster it, or wait for Wii NSO?
Oh no, they're gonna put the GameCube version on.
Yeah, they'll put the GameCube version on. Yeah, for sure.
Which is gonna be weird because it's like mirrored, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's the version that you play in Twilight Princess HD.
Oh, right.
So,
okay, yeah,
like, whatever.
Be fine.
This is like, because some people asked us about Wind Waker as well. I think both of those games are going to be, I mean, obviously Wind Waker is going to be on NSO, but like I think Twilight Princess is going to be there. Even though like Metroid Prime was remastered, like I think the OG version is going to be on there too. Like I think that you're just going to see like the GameCube versions, and then if you want to purchase like, because I think at some point like they're gonna do like the package with Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD, and if you want to buy that you can, but if not, you can just play it on NSO. And it's not like a ton of people have the expansion pack for NSO either, so like to a lot of people that'd still be like a brand new game. So yeah, I think Twilight Princess will be there for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, let's make this our last one here, because this is 3 questions kind of in one, Al, and then we'll pick it up for next week. Which, by the way, if that means that if you are listening and you want to get in some more questions for next week, why the heck not? Double dip! Comment on Spotify, comment on our post on Blue Sky, and of course let us know when we're on Discord. So if we're not getting to your question this week, we will get to it next week. This I promise you. But let's end it off with a trifecta from Ocarina Holder here. Number 1. If the next mainline Zelda game theoretically featured a magical instrument as a central mechanic again, what would you like to see as the instrument? Say
Bagpipes.
It. Oh.
No, not really.
Kind of like the Deku from Majora's Mask. We've already done that.
I want to see, I know we've talked about this in the past, and I know that I want to move away from like the Breath of the Wild era of games, but I wouldn't mind still seeing it in a different art style, is the accordion.
Oh,
because of that art that we saw with Link holding the accordion. I'm down for that. I'm waiting for that to happen.
No.
What about that?
No, I am over that accordion. I don't think the accordion.
No, okay, we only saw the accordion in one game. And you're
Well,
over
you know
it.
what? That was enough.
Oh my
That
god.
was enough. I just like the accordion's not my style of music. It's there are times when an accordion sounds perfect and it fits a setting perfectly. Do I think it fits like the overworld in Zelda? I don't know. Maybe not perfectly for me. So I wouldn't
Hmm.
say that. Um, I don't
Andy
know.
wants a synth.
That would be sweet. That would be sweet. Just have like a DJ Link just busting out like some synth. Yeah.
Just like he whips out this table from his pocket.
Maybe it's on his Sheikah slate. You know, just like coming in and all of a sudden he's got like the space music going on. Now we're talking. I don't know. Like I feel like I guess like part of me is just like, okay, like what have we had? We've had an ocarina, we've had a flute, we've had
Harp.
the harp, we've had a guitar, we've had drums, we've had bagpipes. Like I don't know. Like is there anything wrong with just like going back to an ocarina?
I wouldn't want to see an ocarina. I feel like those are pretty set to
I guess
Ocarina of Time and
you're right, and I guess that brings me to the answer to this question. I just don't know if I'd be interested in seeing a game themed around a musical instrument or a magical instrument.
hmm
Like it's kind of like been there, done that. No,
The saxophone was a big deal in Tears with the
yeah.
Tears theme in the trailer. Saxophone would be cool.
Unless it's synth, like if you got a synth, like you got some keys, a table, like I could have time for that.
What's that little thumb one called?
Little thumb one.
Yeah, where you like pick at the little things with your thumbs and it's like really tranquil zen sounding.
You look like my grandpa trying to hold a SNES controller right now.
Hold on, what is that thumb instrument called?
I don't know. Anybody know what the hell else
Call
talking?
for me while I Google this.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next question here, and then we'll go from there. Who are you most excited to play out of the confirmed playable characters in Age of Imprisonment? Zelda, Rauru, or Minoru?
A kalimba.
A Kalimba.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
All right. So of Zelda, Rauru, and Minoru, Al is most excited to play as the Kalimba in Age of Imprisonment. What the hell's a Kalimba?
It's like a little thing that you hold and it has like metal bars and
What?
then yeah, you just like pick at them and they play little sounds.
What the hell? Hold on. I gotta look at this. What in God's name is this? I have never seen this before in my life.
It's spelled Kal limba.
I'm looking at it right now. There's some really cool stuff coming up on Google image search. I've just I can't say in my musical experience.
I think it's a well-known instrument for like Avatar: The Last Airbender. A lot of people know that some of the music from that is done by a kalimba.
Okay. You know what? There is a Japanese instrument that the name is escaping me, but I'll look it up. That I think would be really cool to play in a Zelda game. But again, I think I'm gonna stick to my like original answer and just say like I think like that one I'm probably over just having like the musical instruments be like a theme of the game. Sorry, I was thinking of just like a Japanese bamboo flute. So sorry, it's not actually like it's just a flute.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, the question now: who are you most excited to play for? Actually, and rank them for me: 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Zelda, Rauru, Minoru. I think I know your answer, and it's probably the same as mine.
Okay. 3 would be Minoru, 2 would be Zelda, 1 would be Rauru.
Okay, it's different. Okay.
I mean, I'm really excited to play as Zelda, but we played as Zelda before,
Yeah.
and I just think Rauru looks sick, so that's
Yeah.
why I'm gonna put her first.
Yeah, I'm putting Zelda last actually, but basically for that reason. Like we've played as Zelda. I'll take Minoru second, and obviously like Rauru is definitely number one.
Yeah.
He looks awesome. I love this version of Rauru. Like I just think this version looks so good. I love the Zonai design. It is for everybody who says I never talk about Tears of the Kingdom positively. Like, I think that the Zonai and Rauru and Minoru look so good. Like, they just look so good. And I'm really excited to play as them. Okay, last question here. And then we're going to break it until next week. What is your dream Joy-Con 2 color combo you would love to have available rather than the default gray? Good question. Okay. Oh, okay. I've got an answer.
Okay, go for it.
I guess I'll preface my answer with, like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't care what color they are, really. I like the blue and red. Those are my current Joy-Cons right now. How about let's go neon green and bright red. So one for the Zelda Cast, one for Omega Metroid.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
I love pastel or gem colors, so I would want a line of Joy-Con based on rocks. So like Celestite blue Joy-Con controllers or amethyst purple or rose quartz pink. I think those would be really cool.
What's the difference between amethyst blue and blue for the non?
Well, amethyst isn't blue. Amethyst is purple.
Oh shit! What did I say?
I said Celestite blue.
Oh no!
In front of me. This is Celestite blue.
You know what? I gotta say that looks pretty good.
Right? Like gummy colors are awesome.
I have to say something, and this is like physically painful for me to say. I actually saw a car the other day, and as I got closer, I unfortunately realized that it was a Tesla. This Tesla had a color on it that it was kind of like turquoise-ish. It looked phenomenal, and I think it was a custom paint job because I've never seen another car like this.
They do like those covers now. They like scrape it on, and it's like glued on. Those are cool.
To counterbalance that, actually, yesterday, Al, you know what I was telling you before the show started that I got the wrong Steve T yesterday. There was a Cybertruck parked in the parking lot, and this is the first time I've ever seen I've seen a couple Cybertrucks like passing by me before, like on the road, but never like parked. Yeah. This is the ugliest thing you've ever seen in your entire. This is so awfully ugly. If you own a Cybertruck here. Oh, I'm sorry.
We have a ton of Cybertrucks here, and I always joke with my dad. I'm like, they ruined my day. They're so ugly.
they're horrible. Like, first of all, you take away all the other stuff. They're just like awful looking cars. They apparently don't work. Yeah, terrible cars. Okay, but yeah, I think that would be a cool. To your point, I think that would be a cool design for a Switch 2 Joy-Con to have. So we'll see. Those Joy-Cons not cheap though. They're gonna cost you $100.
Yes, and I think I want to say they were 90 before, right?
Yeah.
They were spendy, but I have a bunch of Joy-Cons that they're compatible. They just don't connect, but they're compatible. So it's good to know that all the ones that I bought before will work.
I mean, you know what? We were talking about things we were looking forward to with the new Switch. Joy-Con is another one. My Joy-Cons are drifting like crazy. Like when I was doing the Omega Metroid Marathon, I was trying to race Super Metroid and my Joy-Cons were moving like the opposite direction. I was like, God, come on, let's go. It was no good. It was no good. All right. I think that's going to do it for us. We got like a ton of questions, and we're going to be here for at least another hour if we're trying to answer them all today. So we're going to cut it off there. We'll come back for next week. We pretty much have a full show for next week too, but if you want to throw in some more questions, why the heck not? Go ahead and do that. We do have a post up over on Blue Sky. You can leave a comment over on Spotify, or you can, of course, ask us over on Zelda Dungeons Discord, which you should come and join and hang out with us. I dare say, like, our Zelda Cast channel is the most active channel on Discord. Zelda Dungeons Discord.
Yeah. I guess, like, overall socially, because we have the break room, but that's just for staff.
I think it's even more active than that a lot of times, but nevertheless, come and hang out with us. We do our best to get in there and chat with everybody as well. So you can talk to Al and I, and if anything that we've said is particularly egregious on the show, you can.
Oh my God.
Come and let us know.
I can't wait for future Corey to come in. I'm so excited for that.
I can wait a long time for that. Forever, actually. All right. Well, that is going to do it for us. Thank you so much to everybody that asked a question. We appreciate it. We appreciate you fueling the Zelda Cast here, and hopefully we'll have some more kind of Nintendo Switch 2 news to go over and talk about here in the next couple weeks. Of course, we are, in fact, going to get out of here. Wanted to wish everybody a great rest of your day. If you have a long weekend, enjoy it. If not, then enjoy your Sunday nonetheless. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Go like, subscribe, recommend, rate, review, all that jazz. If you have a Zelda fan in your life, tell them where they can get their weekly Zelda fix. Check out ZeldaDungeon.net. If you're playing a Zelda game, you're stuck, you need some guidance, you need, I don't know, maybe you're just looking for the latest Zelda news, latest Zelda opinions. It's all over on ZeldaDungeon.net. We have a Patreon that you can check out if you really want to take your Zelda Cast love to the next level. Patreon.com/SPNet. And check us out over on Blue Sky. We are at the Zelda Cast. I'm at Spiteri316. Al is at Allison Aletha. That, my friends, is going to do it for us. So, until next week, everybody, take care.
Bye.
Hey, everyone. If you enjoyed this clip and want to see more of the Zelda Cast, make sure to head over to your favorite podcast platform of choice and subscribe. There are over 200 episodes in the vault that will provide you with hundreds of hours of Zelda content for you to enjoy. You can listen to us when you're on a walk, fighting Ganon, trying to sleep, whatever. And if you want to see these shows as they happen, make sure to head over to twitch.tv/the Zelda Cast, where you can watch our beautiful faces talk about Zelda every single week. Don't miss out, and we'll see you next time.